Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Fortune Lines Forever. Today I have a 4v4 ladder match on the map Step 4. Let's go ahead. That little menu go away. Go ahead and introduce our players, starting with the red team here in the northeast section of the map. We are starting with the orange player of Swain. He's going UEF and first land. Next to him we have Sleep Pride going first land as an Aeon in Crimson. East of him, we have another Aeon as NASA going first land in red. And last but not least, for Team Red, or Red Team, in this northeast section of the map, we have Just Awesome going first land as a Cybran in yellow. So again, we have two U2 Aeon, a UEF, and a Cybran. They are missing the Seraphim Tech as well, and so they're not going to be able to use the Experimental Bomber or the Yolnana Os or anything of that sort. Or the Chicken. For blue team, we'll start with the purple player of Ranax. He was going first land in, again, purple as a Cybran. To his west, we have Kamikaze in navy blue going first land as an Aeon. Northwest of him, we have Medea going first air in blue going Seraphim. And last but not least, for blue team, we have Fed going first land in teal as a UEF. So each of the races are represented for blue team, so they're going to have all the tools in their toolboxes. Let's go ahead and look at reclaim for this game as well. Looks like we are looking at about, I mean, I can't do all that math in my head, but there's not a whole lot of like large pockets of reclaim. I mean, there's 1,000 there. There's a couple of these civilian structures here in the back line with some radar and a couple of these amphibious tanks, but nothing really too much to worry about. So again, reclaim is not really going to be the focus of this game. There's not a lot of mass extractors as well. Pretty much going to be focusing on getting your mass fab farms up, getting a lot of reclaim from enemy structures or units. That's definitely the focus. I will point out that I started the recording. I got all the way to like the 51-minute mark and like just glanced over to my recording software and noticed I didn't actually click the start button. So I did almost the entire cast and then realized, oh, I have to do it again. So this is me after like 51 minutes of recording realizing, oh, now I have to start up, which is fine. It's getting done. And also would like to shout out to everyone who helped me get over the 250 subscriber mark. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. I have a poll going on the channel community page thingy, asking for your opinions on whether or not the milestone cast should be a high-rated game, a low-rated game, a pro versus Joe match, or like an other, whether that be a bar or whatever else the case may be. So far, high-rated game is winning. There's about 17 votes so far. So if you want your voice to be heard before Sunday, please go ahead and visit the community post and vote for what type of game you'd like the milestone cast to be. Let's go ahead and look at what our players are doing here in the middle of the map. We have 3 of the 4 comms from red team moving on the front line. We do have a huge movement out from Fed, getting all the way pretty much to the middle of the map. So he pretty much just built a factory and left, and is going down, getting forward factories down, making sure that he can secure this western side of the map. There's also a couple of these strikers, these E1 tanks out from Swain, trying to just kind of get in the back line, take out some early engineers. Doesn't really go anywhere. So it's definitely disappointing for him. We have a airdrop out from this transport, getting these mexes on this little ridge here. And you could have done that, or you probably could have distance build. Looks like that's, I think, what Kamikaze did. There aren't any engineers, so that's literally the only way he could have done that. Distance building is nice because it doesn't take in elevation, so it's just, if I zoomed all the way back, the ring on that comm, I think it's the red? No, I think it's the red one is the build. Well, no, the yellow is the build radius. The red is the damage, and the dark crimson color is the fight. Sounds like we had some early scouts being killed by some interceptors. We have the comm of Swain just going full send into the comm of Fed and his forward producing factories. And going to take out a couple of those early tanks. We have some assisting artillery as well as A couple of these T1 tanks as well. Would like to see a couple more artillery just to deal a lot more damage to these structures. Artillery get a lot more damage against structures because they just do. That's just a thing that part of this game. We have a gun speed and range upgrade going down for just awesome. Down here to the southeast, or middle east. Not the Middle East, just east of middle. I think I'll say east. Middle East sounds. Anyway, we also have a gun range upgrade going down for NASA. He already has the speed upgrade as well, so we're going for Aeon Sniper Comm here in the middle of the map for NASA. Using that comm very aggressively in the early game. We also have the comm of Greenaxe here in the southeast section of the map getting a factory down. Looks like we had a transport out from the air player of Medina trying to get that mechs on this little hillock in the very, very far corner. This is a 10 by 10, so not a whole lot of room for our players to spread out, but I couldn't imagine a 4v4 game on a 5v5 map. That's just like, you walk out of your base, walk like 10 steps and you're already hitting a unit. So I think if I remember correctly, a minimum map size 4v4 is 10 by 10. You can let me know down in the comments if I am wrong, because I always like to be have my opinions and thoughts, whatnot, checked by all of you, because there's a lot more people who watch my videos that know a lot more about this game than I do. Feel free to correct me if I say anything wrong. We have some early aggression again from that Aeon Sniper Comm. Those upgrades have finished. Kamikaze is heading straight into the comm of Just Awesome. This is going to be a sandwich. This is a 2v1 situation. Both of these comms have gun upgrades. Kamikaze does not. Kamikaze is dropping into the yellow. Looks like also said dead, talking to Kamikaze. It looks like Kamikaze is going to be able to get into the water though. Going to drop into the red. Just barely, and then Just Awesome goes, okay, I'll just hang out in the water with you then. And then goes, nah, never mind it. That water's too cold. Some pushing going down here on the eastern side of the map out from Rainax. Going for that advanced frontline, not advanced, but frontline radar installation as well as a mechs. There's some artillery in the distance, lobbing that ordnance against Just Awesome, but again, there's a lot of reinforcing units out from Awesome. I don't think this push is going to amount to a whole lot. Again, that NASA Aeon Sniper Comm just doing work here in the middle of the map, preventing a lot of this T1 buildup here for Kamikaze. We have, again, those two comms out from Sleep and also from Ed Swain, just securing this the western side of the middle. Because I have Midwest and Middle East, so definitely not the Middle East and definitely not the Midwest. So anyway, T2 upgrade going down for Swain as well, and it looks like Fed went for gun damage and rain, going for nano upgrade, nano repair as well, ensuring he can rep up those hit points very quickly. So very good for engagements. Again, the T2 upgrade is straight hit points, while nano upgrade is going for regen capabilities. So you could out damage someone, but if you can't out heal them in the sense that you're dealing more damage than they're healing, then it's not really going to amount to anything anyway. But it looks like that push out from Rainax got all the way into the main base of Just Awesome, even due to the fact that just reinforcing units are here building all the time. Going for those T2 mexes, they are going to get one of them. Would like to see these Mantis probably walk along this edge, go after the second Max Extractor. I don't think there's enough firepower on that Max to kill it, especially with some bombers overhead. Taking a lot of those Mantises out. Mantises, whatever the correct pronunciation is of multiple Mantis. Little hillocks here with a little, radar system and a Mass Extractor. So a lot of little plateaus, little mountains that have their tops just cut off. Which is very, very interesting map design. It almost looks like something out of the map gen, but I can see some of the inspiration from those map gens. Whoever designed that, the Neuroxis map generator, kudos on them. I don't think I could code something like that, at least with my current knowledge of coding and video games and whatnot. So, props to them. And it's produced a variety of maps. Some of them really good, some of them not so good. But you've already seen some of those on the channel so far. In terms of the amount of like instances I have casted on a particular map, if it's a pre-built map like Step Forward or like Sentence, for example, there's 3 videos on my channel that are for Sentence, but the map gen I think is like 7. And it's crazy because even though that's one program, it generates so many different maps that any game you play could be a different experience. It's not a Sentence or Gap or a pyramid map. Like, you know what's going to be where roughly at the same time. A lot of people have like done the math for all of that. But like for map generator, you can't really do that. It's just, okay, I have to scan the map. Okay, I'm going to build here and defend here and all of that. But anyway, go off on my tangents. Let's go ahead and get back onto the action here. We have NASA just, again, using that Aeon Sniper Comm, just shoving the forces out from blue team, specifically Kamikaze, back and back and back. And he's going to be having some engineer support. A few of them at least going after these frontline mechs, is getting some more eco down. Looks like we have some like pincer maneuver sort of thing going on for Fed. However, it looks like he's being pincer maneuvered as well at the same time. And unfortunately, the defenses out from Swain are just pretty much too strong for this assisting force out from Fed to come in and deal significant amount of damage to the infrastructure. And it looks like Swain is using that little cheeky tactic of just running his forces into Fed and screwing up his movement. Whenever you hit a unit, it kind of like stops it for a second. If you constantly do that, you can kind of block somebody in place and allow for more damage to be done. So using the game mechanics to your advantage, very good strategic move. Knowing the mechanics of the game are very important to winning a game. You don't have to know them to win. They sure do help, and of course, the more you know, the more you can prepare for it. There, that Aeon Sniper Comm just dealing lots and lots of damage to these PD. These Oblivions are going to go down. This forward operating base, this production factory is going to go down. The HQ for Kamikaze is going to go down as well. That's going to be definitely a heartbreaker to him as well. It's going to take him a minute to get that back up and running. He's going to start building a T2 factory now. Get that HQ back online. Apologies for that. I click my mouse wheel sometimes and I can do the movement. I forget I can do that, so maybe I'll start implementing that instead of hitting full shift. I can. Fed still on the yellow here on the western side, repping up 68 hit points a second versus Swain's 20. That is a 3-star vet for Fed, so again, once he gets to 4 and 5 stars, that hit points a second is just going to skyrocket for him. And it's Fed versus a Triad, and that Triad loses, especially when that Comm has overcharge. On the eastern front, not really a whole lot. Base wars starting to appear on this eastern side, with Renex getting some PD as well as some TAC missile defense. Starting to build up a TAC missile launcher as well, and using the adjacency bonus from Mass Extractor to make the building of those missiles cheaper. Very, very good move there. Usually you just build the mechs and surround it with mass storage, but especially on the front lines where you know that mechs might go down, you might as well just save some mass if you're going to build a missile anyways. That PD is just close enough to that forward mechs where Just Awesome's like, "Aw, but I wanted to build there." And they're like, "No, can't build there." We're like, okay. There's a torpedo launcher in this little pond over here. Just dealing some, if any comm or any unit comes into the water, just kind of start dealing damage to them. A buildup of army here for Just Awesome on this the eastern side of the middle. Making sure there's no run-bys, no, just full bore. Let's just turbo action, just go straight into the main base. Radar installations are popping up everywhere for red teams, so you can just look at all of those radar installations. There's 6 of them, excuse me, not 7. And for Swain, there are 3, it looks like. So, I mean, they're covering a decent section of the map, and Just Awesome has 2. So, I mean, they probably can see over half of the map. That's a lot. That's a lot of the map. And they're super cheap too. They're only 20 instead of, I think it's the 200 for T2. So, I mean, they're not Omni. But again, better than nothing. We have a flanking maneuver out from NASA trying to take out the comm of Fed, but this is just going to feed Fed even more mass. He's going to kill. He's now 4-star. He's going to be 5-star here pretty soon. That's going to be a chunky comm. He gets a shield on that thing, and that's going to be a very hard nut to crack. Looks like Swain is talking to his teammates saying to NASA specifically pull back. And he said that in all. I do like the notifications about upgrades for comms. Sometimes it's like, I just want to read the soul. I just want to read like the tactical moves going on between players. We are at the 15-minute mark so far. No comms have died. We have T3 error achieved yet. We have it for red team from Sleep Pride and as well from Medea on the blue team. So again, T3 error is available to both players. And I would like to see at least like a strap bomber rush or something to deal some kill, a lot of economic damage or something. This is like an average. This is an average Joe rated game with like sort of a pro mixed in. Brainax is like on the cusp of a pro in terms of Guile's classifications. But in terms of like again average rating, 11-11 forward, 11-35 with a 98 percentage. That's considering you have a 1500 and a 900. That's very good. But again, both players on this western side just using their comms very offensively. And yeah, both players are in the yellow. However, Swain is only at 7,800 hit points, while Fed is at almost 13. Actually, excuse me, I read that wrong. Almost 18,000. Repped up very quickly. So again, the bars may look similar. You got to check the actual hit points on that comm because that might make a difference. We have a flanking maneuver again out from NASA. Doesn't really go the way he wants to and decides, nah, I'm just going to pull back and hold position. Again, if you've been enjoying the cast so far, please like and comment down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, I greatly appreciate it. The next like community post I'll do for like another milestone will probably be 350. It will definitely be 500 for sure. But I'll probably do 350. That's a good kind of midway point between 250 and 500. And of course, just trying to do my best, do more and more every day. It looks like we had a notification go down for Just Awesome. I don't know what he's doing. He's not being supported by his sizable army. Like actually, well, it's about the same size if you combine both of these. Looks like he's just going full in. Maybe he has to go. Maybe he just wants to go out and blaze a glory. I don't know what it is. Maybe he has his delivery from Amazon or pizza or something at the door and he has to just leave. But that is going to be a kill for blue team. So it's going to be a 4v3 in their favor. And it looks like he wants to leave, I think. Why? They pressure now. Misclick. Oh, that's very disappointing. So not even have a reason to leave. And at the same time that he dies, we have a drop out from Rainax. He's dropping in some artillery from the Skyhook, this T1 air transport, and the artillery starts to rain against these emplacements, these mass extractors. One of those torpedoes. One of those artillery does go down to that explosion from that transport. Another set of volleys comes out, picks out one of those mass extractors. That is 9 generated mass per second. That is just evaporated. Ooh, that second mass extractor almost gonna die. Another volley of artillery gets shot out. They take out the second one. Do they get a third one? Oh, not a lot of hit points left on a couple of those mass storages. 2 of them do go down, and the rest of those artillery are mopped up. That's a very good play out from Rainax. Lots of damage, and again, delaying the eco. And because of that, Team 2 is now leading the eco game from the generated eco by about 700, and total mass recruit at about 10k. So not unrecoverable. English is hard. But Team 2, at least in terms of the generated eco, far ahead, almost at 50% more generated eco, almost. We do have incursions again on this western side. Lots of action on the west of this middle section. Just bombs being thrown back and forth. Armies just being, you know, just used by these giant mechs, or relatively giant mechs. Medium-sized mechs? Let's say medium-sized mechs. Against these tanks. I mean, they just tower over these tanks. And yeah, these tanks deal a lot of damage. These Obsidians, of course, they have a lot of hit points. They are decently expensive, so be aware of that as well. But Fett just, now he's 5-star, and he has at 20,000 hit points. And he has nano regen, so he could go for a T3 and get even more hit points. But I think the play is maybe go for a shield and just use the nano repair as just regenerating all of those hit points. Look how fast those hit points are going up. It's 80 hit points a second, so within 5 seconds he has 400 hit points versus the 26 hit points a second. And amount of time, Wayne has regened about 100, about 130. So, you know, a decent amount more for Fed. We have another incursion out from Raynax's T1 force. These little mantises going after these frontline land factories. Looks like with the death of Just Awesome, these have gone idle and are just being used as pretty much bullet sponges. NASA trying to in forward more and more. We do have a sizable T1 and T2 army out from Kamikaze as well. These blazes come in, try to, you know, skirt some damage, try to, you know, dodge as much as possible, but with enough firepower it won't matter. And all that blaze does make it out with 100 hit points. Please cap and upgrade these mexes or give them... Oh, talking to Kamikaze. I guess that's fair, because if you're not going to cap them, you might as well give them to somebody who will. Just build a transport, drop a couple engineers, and you're good to go. Wayne just constantly trying to say, this is my spot. Stop trying to take my spot. And just building PD after PD after PD. But again, at some point you have to say, okay, is it worth the mass investment to continue to hold this position? You're going to hold one mass point. That's it. You might as well pull back a little bit. Form a kill box to allow the enemy to group up more and not be able to move as much, and then you can do more damage coming from these middle lanes. And you can put some artillery up on this little ridge here and just lob, you know, ordnance at the enemy just constantly. I hear missiles being launched over here to the east. They are these Vipers, these T2 missile launchers. Just look at all that firepower coming off of those missiles. We have a couple zappers in the mix, just trying to prevent more and more damage. But again, you can overwhelm any tactical missile defense, even the volcanoes, with enough missiles. It won't matter. You have like 100 missiles coming in and like 25 tactical missile defense. It will not matter. Those missiles are going to get through. Looks like we have a missile defense, strategic missile defense SMD against this hill. I love this play because if you have strat bombers coming in from the northeast specifically, and they come in to launch their payloads, most of them are probably going to hit right about here, and they're not, just because of the trajectory of the missile itself. Look, there's a little like cavity within the rock. A lot of those bombs are going to miss. So again, very good placement. You got to understand the environment and use it to your advantage, because might as well, right? There's no point not to. And again, we're at the 23-minute mark. Subcom brain, not really a huge issue for a lot of players at this point. Once we start getting into like the 40, 45 minute, that's when it starts to just, you know, that tunnel vision starts to come in. You kind of start losing sight of everything else around you, that kind of thing. Start forgetting things just because, you know, you've been playing the game for 45 minutes to an hour, and it's just a lot to think about, and it's hard for your brain to just work that long. The higher rated a player gets, the farther off they're able to push that subcom brain, but eventually it hits everyone. I mean, like, no one is immune to subcom brain. It will always be a thing no matter what. It just depends on when it happens for players. That's the main concern. Let's see, do we have anything crazy going on? Any spicy plays in the background? We have GCs being more of a focus for Sleep Pride. Don't really have anything on the cards for really anybody else. Do we have anything for blue team? Nothing. No, we're getting Oh no, still T2. Air grid's being spammed up. T3 upgrade going down for the comm of Medea. No, not really a whole lot. We are getting shield on the way for Swain as well. That's definitely a good move, especially if you're using your comm on the front lines. You want extra protection, whether that be parashields, whether that be a shield on the actual comm. You know, having a transport nearby just in case, you know, things don't look good. Just options for you to play with. So, you know, more tools in your toolbox means more things you can just throw at people before they overwhelm you. We have an incursion from these loyalist assault bots with their like one giant arm and their other smaller arm kind of hanging out. They do have tactical missile defense on their chassis. What's interesting about these specifically is that they get a missile to fire at them, and their tac missile, deflector, not defense, deflectors, they can actually turn the missile around, throw it back at the enemy. So when you're facing off against these loyalist bots, you got to be aware if you're using missiles, those missiles might come back and bite you, because yeah, just because of that added little tech on that bot. And I think it's this little, yeah, you can see the little zapper dish on that that left shoulder of the loyalist bot. And what I do like is the fact that when you hover over these units, you can see like a suicide weapon, EMP weapon, volatile, a transporter, all the attributes for that particular unit. And so you can understand, oh, this unit has an engineering suite. I can suck up reclaim with that. Oh, or I can assist with building something. Or, you know, you have, what's another one? Hover, hold on. I saw a hover for a second. Where'd it go? Yeah, transportable and hover. They hover so that way, you know, they can go on water because they hover. They fly now. Again, another push out from the west from Swain, trying to use this hillock to his advantage, trying to use it as a natural barrier against his enemy. Looks like NASA's like, oh no, something's happening, as NASA pulls his forces away to help defend this eastern side. Kamikaze comes in on the northern side and takes out this fire base. So had NASA split his forces, they would have been overwhelmed. So it was one of those plays of which side do you lose? Do you lose the middle or do you lose the eastern side? And it looks like NASA said, I'm going to lose the middle, because it's easier to recapture versus the eastern side. He didn't want enemy units to come trickling into the old base of just tossing and dealing lots of economic damage. So I can understand that. You're losing one mechs and a couple defenses, not the end of the world. We have artillery out from Medea, just trying to deal more and more economic and infrastructure damage to red team. And we have comm of Dwayne just using that hill to his advantage, trying to hide behind it as much as he can. Lots of missiles coming from those mobile missile launchers, parashields coming in to help assist the comm, protect him as much as they can. Each shield adding 3,000 hit, but one of them just dies. Having power problems does not help either. I guess he had power problems for a second. Getting some overflow, it looks like. But those shields are not, they need to rep back up quickly because Comma Fed is definitely chasing after him. And those that push out from Renax, it still makes it to the main base, but with the support of these bricks, you know, their famous brick wall defense and Oblivion turrets being spammed up as well, this push amounts to pretty much nothing. The shield goes down, land factory goes down, but it's a lot of mass dropped on the doorstep of red team. Now we have another push. I guess it's just a continuation of the same push out from Kamikaze. Unfortunately, both the players of Sleep and NASA notice it and try to funnel all of their units to try to cut off this advance. This isn't going to really amount to a whole lot due to the fact that this army, combined army from red team, is just too large for this blue army from Kamikaze to just face off. You're talking about T3 units and bricks. You got, looks like, you got shields. You got maybe there's a sniper bot in there. So, I mean, you got a lot of T3 units that are able to just use all of that firepower, and a lot of those units are going to go down. There's a T2 radar installation. Oh, what is that? Oh, never mind. Covers a decent section of the map, though. So, would like to see maybe T2 radar on the western side for Ukraine to help support. Kind of get to know what the enemy is doing over there. And like I said, that brick wall defense has been activated. They are in defense mode. Those those obsidians and all those parashields are going to fall, which is going to motivate and encourage those units out from NASA to push forward. Nano repair going down from Medea as well, ensuring that they survive longer. Of Fed kind of hovering over here on this western side. Now there's not a whole lot of action on this western side anymore. There's a couple Titans and parashields and tanks, but not really a whole lot, man. Most of the red team's forces and aggression is coming from this middle section, from NASA specifically. We have, of course, the air factories and air grids being spammed up in the back line for NASA. Looks like, however, Medea is quicker on that air factory game, and it looks like more ASFs are going to be produced for them pretty quickly. We do have a little contingent, little band of loyalists that made it all the way to this northern side against Wayne, and they're going to be able to take out that T3 Mechs. I would like to see them keep pushing forward. They're going to take out that Titan very quickly. The shield goes down on it, and it does. Would like to see them take out maybe a P-Gen. That's the only T3 P-Gen that Swain has. He's going straight for a Fat Voice. That'd be a very huge blow. Get that volatile damage down. Be able to take out a decent amount of these engineers as well. Looks like Red X has other plans in motion. A Strat Bomber comes over the top. Is able to take out a section of that attacking force and then nullifies the other one as well, leaving 3 of those loyalists remaining. These Titans and Rascons are going to be able to mop up the rest of these incoming forces. So they take out 1 T3 Mechs, but they could have taken out more, I feel like. We have an experimental on the front lines for Sleep, this Galactic Colossus, a very, very, very tall boy. Definitely over 6 feet. That's definitely the case for that Galactic Colossus. We have a push out from NASA as well. Looks like there's a pincer maneuver out from Red Team going for this artillery battery here. They are going to die. Engineers try to reclaim as much as they can. Strat Bombers come over the top for the air player of Medea. Do we have an air response out from Sleep? Looks like Sleep is circling his ASFs. Decides, okay, that's a perfect time. These Strat Bombers are turning around. But unfortunately, there are more ASFs for Medea, and that's going to be an air control win for Medea, and more Strat Bombers go down. Colossus going straight into that hill. And not really a good move. His movements are moving to the west, though, trying to get around it. Unfortunately for him, it looks like he's not going to do a whole lot of damage. There are a decent amount of these obsidian tanks and a couple light tanks, these Aurors as well, able to assist him. Would like to see some shields, would have liked to see some harbingers as well. But again, something is better than nothing. Base laser opens up, going after those P-Gens. Rayneck building experimental. We'll check on that in a second. That Galactic Colossus is about to fall. Gets a Rankin Vet from the explosion from that P-Gen. Crucial Rankin Vet. Able to last a little bit longer. Takes out another P-Gen. Does this Galactic Colossus take any more with him? No, that is it for him. There is a Galactic Colossus for Kamikaze as well. He's going to be able to mop up the rest of this incoming damage. And that's pretty much it on the minimap. There's not really an incursion of any red on this southern side of the map, or any counter pushes out from blue tank. Strat Bombers being used en masse to take out the rest of these Obsidians. Even the comm of Medea takes a huge hit from that explosion from that P-Gen. Looks like... No, I thought I'd get a range from that for a second. And then the rest of those forces are taken out. So, unfortunately for Red Team, it was pretty much just a mass dump. And they didn't even take out the artillery battery. Completely ignored that. Walked all the way to the back line. Took out a couple of the air grids. Looks like they didn't take out the HQ, which is definitely a mistake. And they left like 20,000 reclaim, plus all the other units. So, not really a good play out from Red Team. We are at the 33-minute mark. Maybe a nuke is on the cards for one of these players. There's not really any SMD built for anybody except for blue team, specifically from Medea. And not really a whole lot. We do have an Omni station in the back line. Is that disabled right now? I don't know. It's just offline. It's not being used. It does suck up a lot of power. He is power stalling, to be fair. So definitely a smart move on that. We have an attack out from NASA as well. Just kind of holding position, not pushing, but not also retreating. This Liquid Load's going to try to use its long-range cannons on its chest to be able to deal some damage on these units. These bricks just barely out of range. There are a couple sniper bots in the mix as well. Good mix of units. We have some anti-air, we have some shields, we have missile launchers, we have sniper bots. So again, large, good mix of units, good variety of units. Would like to see, however, some T3 anti-air to be able to take out either strat bombers, gunships, or anything that might come over and try to just whittle down this force in the east of middle. We have a Fat Boy out from Swain that does finish building, moves to the front line. I had a couple commenters in the last video or 2 videos ago comment about why no one uses these like Fat Boys or any of those mobile factories as actual factories. Someone brought up a good point that they're stationary, so they can't be moved while they're building, which I understand in cases of like you need to get to the front lines or if you're retreating or whatever the case may be. But if you're just hanging out kind of like this and there's no one near you, just stop and build units there. And you save travel time of all of these Titans. I know the Titans move fast, I get it, but these Fat Boys build the Titans twice as fast as regular E3 factories. So you might as well use that speed to your advantage while you got it, especially when you have no aggression out from your opponent. Now it looks like Swain did take my advice and upgrade to a T2 radar. They are 150, not 200. I do apologize for that. And then you can reduce the cost with P-gens as adjacency. Just Monkey Lord just getting some, just outliers, taking out some engineers on a reclaim order. Walls being built up to prevent any sort of flanking maneuvers on this eastern side. Little fire base with a couple more of these TMD. Oh, I like this. I like this shield on the hill with TMD and also the T1 PD just to have some nice defenses. There's a flak in there as well. Would have liked to see a couple SAMs. That's very good placement. Very good, again, very good use of the environment, because on a 10v10 you don't have all of the map in the world, and this water definitely eliminates a lot of structures you can build. You're not going to build naval units because the water isn't really that significant, so why does it matter? The only way it could be significant is if you got a engineers all the way in the back line, built some naval factories, built cruisers, and just lobbed missiles over. But at that point, the enemy's going to see that, especially with... oh, no, that's just mean. That's just excessive. Dropping some strat bombers on a spy plane. What that spy plane ever do to you? It's just hanging out. Not an aggressive unit. Yeah, there's intel, but it's not aggressive. It was definitely overkill against that spy plane. Decent army, battalion of these Harbs with their shields. We have this Black Colossus marching. Looks like it might give some of these Harbs here pretty soon. And Fat Boy inching its way ever closer with a contingent of these, this Titan army. Again, would like to see some anti-air. A couple strat bombers. Well, a couple, like, a squadron or so of strat bombers coming over top, and that's it for that that Fat Boy. Again, some parashields as well would help shield it as well. Just more and more, just like inching the front line ever so closely for red team. Raynax goes, oh, I can probably just go around this little edge here, and he's like, no, never mind. Not a good idea. The bombers overhead, I guess, from the airplay from the Dia just get annihilated. Healed on the way for Fed. He is all the way on the east side of the map. 5-star comm. This guy's going to get a lot more hit points, get super tanky. Super tanky. And like I said, I don't see any efforts for, I mean, it is, I do mention like about the 30, 35 minute mark. you should start to see or start thinking about how do I end the game. But there's a huge drop bomber rush going for the comm of Rainax. There aren't any anti-air installations really in the area. Bombs go off. A couple of them impact directly onto the chassis of that comm, and that is a kill for Team Red. For Red Team, that is going to tie it up to a 3v3. That was definitely preventable. Those ASF could have been there a little sooner. Or some, anti-air. There is one SAM. But one SAM's not going to do a lot against, like 15 or 12 strat bombers. There are a couple more strat bombers coming in, trying to go after the comm of Kamikaze, it looks like. The shield stays strong, even though the Aeon shields aren't really that great. And he will live to fight another day. But that, comm of Rainax, he is the highest rated player in the game. Red team is definitely going to feel that as definitely a victory. Now they're going to start pushing this front line, which is now Feds, who he should give this over to Kamikaze. Kamikaze can focus on the eastern flank, but it doesn't look like he's going to. Lots of forces moving in to help support that eastern side. That little mechs on that hill goes down. Just all by its lonesome. Firebase out from Rainax does go down. These bricks fall back as well. Sniper bots being used to just deal damage without receiving damage. Lots and lots of shields to prevent any incoming fire as well. We have some Harvs moving in to support this eastern flank. Again, we also have the comm of Fed that could pop out of the water once he's done and just go after this team army. Bricks show up, start to deal some damage against that little mass storage that's on this little hill. Why you mean to that mass storage, man? Like, they're not doing anything to you. They're just existent, just living its life on this little hill. And look at all that incoming fire that's been negated by the environment. That's to show you the power of the environment in this game. That shots can be missed, and shots don't. They usually go in the straight line or predictable arcs. There is some artillery being launched at the enemy. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe an artillery shell land against this mass extractor. It does land, and splash damage and lingering damage takes out that last remaining mass storage. Definitely a sad day for that mass storage. It was living its best life and was surrounded by a bunch of bricks, and it was very unfortunate for him. We have a Goliath Colossus here in the middle of the map just hanging out. We have a buddy as well moving in. I wouldn't be surprised to see these be given over to Nosa so he can push this front line. Because honestly, there's not a whole lot. There's another one megalith being built. Fields being built. Of course, power regions being the focus as well. So by the time these Goliath Colossus get there, there'll be at least one megalith and Monkey Lord as well. Just these sniper bots are getting a lot of value against these units because Fed as well as Kamikaze are just leaving them just to sit there. Kamikaze is pulling back his harbs though, but again, I just don't understand why Fed doesn't give his forces to Kamikaze. He could easily do that and have him just focus east. I mean, Rainax is literally, his old base is literally like touching Kamikaze's base. We do have an artillery on the cards as well. I don't know why you're building an air station beacon there. It shouldn't go there. It should probably go closer to the mountain. Right. We have another experimental built, but I think that's just transfer of control of experimentals to NASA, and so NASA's going to use those boys to try to deal lots and lots of economic damage. This Monkey Lord, very effective, being able to stick its little laser out of the water just enough to deal damage to these bricks. Takes out a few of them for his trouble. Having a disagreement with the water, and these Colossus notice him and finish him off. Again, very good placement of that Monkey Lord to deal a couple damage to a couple of these bricks though. Very, very, very good play. Didn't have a lot of health, but at least it was useful. Small stream of these Percivals moving in against this forward operating base for Medea. This artillery battery as well. We have Harvs moving in to support. And that's a lot of defenses being drawn from this eastern flank. T1 bombers being used en masse to try to just deal a lot of damage as they can. These Scorchers from the UEF. Unfortunately, we don't really have direction out from Nasser to which side he's going to go. I would go to the right to ensure that he can deal damage to that artillery because it looks like it has finished. Pings even go down as well. But wait, where you going? Where you going? Why are you turning? What you doing? You could easily take out that artillery. It's not even shielded. It's not protected. You can easily take that out. What are you doing? Looks like it wants a kill on that megalith maybe, or that monkey lord, but that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't really make sense. We have ASF over the top to help assist. We have strat bombers as well trying to defend this eastern flank for blue team, and this megalith is slowly walking back. One of those colossus goes down, kills a couple of units around him as well. Gotta watch out for those. Megalith almost constructed for Fed as well, so that's going to provide a lot of defense. It looks like maybe strat bombers came in and took out that artillery installation. I would assume took out a couple of those Rascons as well. Looks like there's also missiles coming in from that army out from NASA as well. And maybe that was it. I don't exactly know what killed that artillery, but at least it's dead. You know, better than nothing. I don't see any artillery. One's being built, but it's not built. Maybe it was trap bombers. I don't know. Oh, Colossus guarding the mass from that party. And the unfortunate thing for red team is they go and they charge the front lines of blue team. They deal some damage and then they leave. They don't keep the ground that they've gained. And the downside to that is now you've just pretty much gifted all of that mass to blue team. So you can see that because of that, you know, maybe they're not paying attention a whole lot. Team 2 is now leading the mass totals by almost 200,000 mass. That's almost a paragon worth of mass. A lot of mass. And the generated deco is up by about 150 as well. So starting to look pretty dire in terms of Team 1's economic resources or capabilities. We have Artie being pinged by blue team, so blue team is definitely aware of that. Artie looks like red team has now noticed the nuke. Sorry, I mentioned it earlier. I just got almost up to this point before actually hitting the record button. So in my head, I remember kind of what happens, but obviously all of you are seeing this for the first time. So I just need to remind myself that, you know, just because you've seen it doesn't mean that everyone else hasn't seen it. And if you've been enjoying the cast so far at the 45-minute mark, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Please like it. If you have enjoyed it, please comment down below what your favorite moment's been so far, what blunders I've made, what things I can improve on, you know, all those things that I ask you every which time. And if you haven't subscribed, again, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. I have hit another milestone for myself and for the channel, and so I greatly appreciate it. And of course, as a content creator, as a YouTuber on YouTube, I want to keep going, keep pushing that the numbers up, and just please, I appreciate all of your support. Even if it's just a comment saying, "Hey, make your auto quality better. Hey, do more cinematic shots. Hey, do better." Like, all of that helps motivate me to be better and to do better. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. We have two Galactic Colossi English out from Kamikaze. Maybe he'll give those over to Fed so he can head this main army that's starting to form here on this eastern flank. The range on those vacuum arms are just insane. And there's another one, and there's another one. All these personals, they're getting a decent amount of damage down, but oh, come on, you could have stayed to take the rest of those out. Come on, why are you going in the water? What you doing? What are you doing, Kamikaze? The western flank has pretty much just stopped. It's very quiet on the western front. And then Fed saying, give me those Colossi. I still don't know the proper term for that. SMD in the back line for sleep, shield upgrade, heavy shield specifically going down for him as well. That's going to get a lot of temporary hit points for him to be able to use to shake off any attacks. The nuke is now at about 75%. There isn't really any assistance on the thing. You would think that blue team would have scouted by now and noticed, oh, there's not really a lot of SMD, especially for, eastern side. There is one now in each main base, which is good to see. But there is one loaded for sleep. There is not one loaded for Nas's main base or for the base he inherited from Awesome. And what about for, well, that is a tactical one. There's not one loaded for Swain as well. So, as long as blue team does not target sleep right now, they would get a kill pretty much. Or at least a lot of economic damage. That army from Fed is starting to push back the front lines of red team on this eastern side. There's also that Fat Boy out from the western front that's moved to the eastern front now to help support. There's continuous damage going down against these experimentals. Oblivion's being primary by these short range, these closer range experimentals versus, of course, the Megalith who have longer range. Another Monkey Lord's in tow as well, so 2 Monkey Lords, 2 Colossus, and 1 Megalith charging the front lines. Honestly, this should just be a cakewalk. There is one Colossus who's almost dead, and 1 Fat Boy. There's another Colossus coming in to outflank the enemy. All this Megalith has to do is turn with this Megalord, Monkey Lord, and just go, no, that's not happening. A wing of Drop Bombers come overhead to deal some damage onto the chassis of that Megalith. Drops it down into the yellow. The laser opens up against both the Colossus and the Megalith. More Strap Bombers coming overhead. They are, let's see, are they going to be able to kill that? Oh yeah, with the assistance of the other Colossus, for definitely sure. That fall from grace from that experimental is going to land. And that's definitely going to be a hard kill for red team to swallow. More and more ASF fight over the top of this land army out from Fed. It looks like still Team 1 has... Blue team has air control. A huge squadron of these Seer Cyplanes. Seer Cyplanes. They're going to know everything going on in this base. Like Nuke here, Artie. You see a couple comms. You see all the... Actually, you know where all the comms are as of right. So, all the S&D, all the SAMs on this western side. And if you notice that your teammates are... or your enemy at least is focusing on one side, try to figure out why. Why is why is the enemy air player sending all of his spy planes on this side, where like around counterclockwise versus clockwise? Oh, because there's a lot of ASF on the western side, so they're going to avoid it. Let's build some SMD. I cannot English today. Stop being there, panel. SAMs on the western side. Let's build some SAMs on the eastern side. That main army out from Fed has pulled back. And lots of shields being used again for red team. Again, very good complement of units. We have reflectors, destructors, not destructors. Percivals, Fat Boys, Hargs, Fields, anti-air, some deceivers, some stealth field systems to help mask units, bricks, just a huge variety of units. And they're going to use that advantage to push. And the PD out from the Cybers are very weak. Don't do a lot of damage. Rapid fire is going to do a lot of damage. And then that artillery out from that Fat Boy is just going to shell that position and kill the rest of those PD. Don't need to send your Percivals out to die. That's one idea. I would like to see Swain give control of the rest of his units on this eastern side to Nasa so that he can focus the defense. We are now past the point in which I realized that my recording software was not recording. So this is not very fresh in my mind. There is no desync that I can remember off the top of my head. Usually I pre-scan these casts just in case. Decent amount of damage on that air grid is going down from that emissary. Fields are popping off all the time. Looks like they were able to take out that artillery that was being built, so it's definitely a blow to the sleep. I just don't see any plans to end the game. We're at 52 minutes, and no one's even tried to build a game ender. Not even Novax is out from the UEF player. That's very weird. Army engaged down here. Looks like a huge strap bomb squadron moved out and took out that fat boy. That's going to prompt the retreat of NASA's forces. Two Megaliths lead the charge, trying to deal all of the damage they can. A couple of these Rascoms are going to try to reclaim. But unfortunately for them, the more of them you kill closer together, they start to chain together, and eventually it just kind of amounts to a lot of death and destruction. Heavy shield does complete for Sleep Pride as well. Again, temporary hit points. Check out how many hit points he has. 25,000 plus an additional 11,000, so 36,000 hit points on that comm. We have a transport out from blue team. The comm of kamikazes going in the water as well as fed. During the pace to survive any nukes or strap bomber rushes that might occur. Very smart move. The comm, of course, of Medea still in his main base, surrounded by a decent amount of shields and PD, so not really worried about tele-defense. Also due to the fact that the only Cybran on red team has been killed, so what is this? The Percival that won't die. Look at this Percival. Let's go track this. There it goes. Oh, I can. Haha. So now we can have full vision. We're going to track this Percival. It will not die. This is doing more. It's on a research mission. Please delete it. It's ruining a good game. So there are glitches once in a while that do happen. This is one of those instances where it looks like it's assisting something. Oh, nope. Build that engineer. I'll keep him in my base. Looks like the Swain's like, but he's my pet now. I want to keep it. I would halt fire just to make it more sporting, not deal damage to enemy units. It's kind of unfair to blue team. I think what happened was, I think one of these Colossus tried to suction, vacuum it up. And then it died as it was holding it. So what happens is while the Colossus are holding the units in their hands, they slowly whittle. They kind of like crush it to death at the end, and slowly whittle its hit points down to 0. So as this Colossus held it and died, it is kind of in a state of, doesn't really know what it's in a state of. So the game's like, I don't know. It can't be destroyed now. But luckily it's a slow fire rate on this Percival, and so it's not going to amount to a whole lot of damage against these artillery units. Huge spamming of artillery units, by the way, out from Fed as well. We have a Megalith and a Galactic Colossus. We have that nuke finally launched out from that nuke silo out from Medea. Where is this one going, dude? Oh, it's going to land against Fleet Pride, and that nuke is not... Oh, the SMD is down. Oh, this nuke is going to land. Oh, that's not going to feel good. And Sleep Pride knows it. Nuke makes a turn, goes straight into the ground, and boom. Lots of shield installations go down. Power goes down. There's a couple of power. PGen still alive. What the heck was that? Wow, I can't talk. He's still positive on power, so that's good. So we can spam up some shields very quickly. Still keeps... Oh, he loses the T3 factory H quarters as well. That's different. But he has his own nuke in the northern section of the map. NASA's making a lot of progress here on this eastern flank. There's not a lot of defenses left. We have a massive chapter that started to be built. We have a monkey in defense. This Megalith is not going to finish in time. This is a huge push out from NASA. They need this win here. They've lost their air player for the most part. Artillery's raining down on them all the time. Looks like there's a third one in place too. It's 1, 2, and got us all. Anyway, back under the action in the middle. Monkey Lord can't really hit this Colossus because of the hill right here. The hill that's been just, battered and bruised and blown apart. The restorers come in to help deal with the rest of this monkey blitz HP. Experimental has been built. There is a Colossus sitting in the water. It can easily pop out and take out that megalith. I don't see why it's not, or even come help assist against this incoming megalith. Drop bombers coming over top. ASFs coming in to support. Lots of SAMs are going to go down. Oblivion turrets being used to just try to deal all the damage that they can to prevent this push out from this Brick and Colossus army. But unfortunately, this megalith didn't come to assist, and that Colossus goes down almost in vain, and that's pretty much a mass down. Looks like NASA is complaining about something healing faster than I can damage it. No. Oh, I think he's talking about that Colossus. It was being built and assisted. So unfortunately for him, that Colossus wins. And then the other Colossus goes, I'll stomp on his grave because why not? That megalith starting to do down a lot of damage. Wayne, control Ks. That's probably, I do apologize for missing it. Could have been a kill. But probably was a kill. Lots of torpedo bombers. Probably from some shot bombers. So send the invincible Percy in. That's the Percy that is apparently the invincible one. It is 5-star. It has 10,000 hit points on its chassis. The DM makes a comment to nuke the, nuke the nuke launcher in the back line. Just finish. And NASA says, please just finish me. Just make it end. These harms being used to suck up the reclaim. They have an engineering suite on their chassis, so they were able to suck up reclaim. And where is that shot going? I don't even know where that artillery shot went to. Anyway. Looks like artillery being focused onto the comm of sleep. Looks like it's going... Well, no. No, it's going for that nuke launcher in the back line. Is this almost like a direct shot? It is a direct shot onto that nuke launcher. That's a direct hit and kills all of that assisting... or a decent amount of that assisting build power from those Rascoms. More shots come in, takes out another section of those Rascoms, and the rest of them are dead. That was a perfect shot. Where are these shots going? They're just going into space. Hang out. Another experimental is built for Kamikaze. There's a Tsar being constructed in the back line. I don't know what the experimental is, to be honest. There's a naval factory being built, or that has been built in this little pond over here. E1 fervor spam is starting to be priority one for Sleep Pride. They could have nuked me ages ago. I think they prefer having a million XP. Playing with their food, I guess. Looks like red team's being a little salty. Blue team's not going to finish them off as fast as they would like. You can always control K and leave. It looks like they want to go down. I think the magic Percy lost its power once I died. Probably. That's probably good for the game. But that was really weird, though, that Percy would not die. 4 Colossus here on this eastern front. Good. Good that the Percy died, I guess. Sniper boss. I'm just going... Oh, what the... That's weird. We have the comm being dropped into the water from NASA. I'm just going to speed this up just a little bit. Looks like this is kind of only going to... I don't want to add too fast. We have some sniper bots on the front line just dealing with all of these harbs. They're just sitting there trying to repair this SAM site, but that's not going to last very long. We have a Tsar coming over the north side of the map. Looks like it's going to go after the comm of sleep. That'd be my guess. Huge wing of and squadrons of these torpedo bombers going after the comm of NASA. We have strap bombers as well as, again, that Tsar over the top. There's going to be a kill against both of those comms pretty much simultaneously. I don't know if that was a kill on Sleep Pride specifically, but we probably just controlled Tade, not giving them the kill. Thank you so much for watching. That is a win for Blue Team, for Team 2. Again, I greatly appreciate all of the support I've been getting, making it over 250 subscribers. All the views, all the likes, all the comments, all the participation in the post. Again, have... until the end of day, or at least whenever I start recording or figuring out what cast to do for the milestone cast. You have until then, probably Sunday afternoon or so, Mountain Standard Time. And thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one.